Kent says that he wants to make another Kirby Dach, Alex Newhook-esque trade, possibly as soon as this summer. So if we're not going to go for the big fish in the UFA market, do you have anybody that comes to mind or any sense of what kind of players they could trade for to help improve the offense?
I do. I actually have a name in mind that I've been pondering about. It might be a bit of a stretch. I don't know that the team will be willing to let him go, but I would definitely look into Kaapo Kakko from the New York Rangers. For one, Jeff Gorton drafted him. He knows him very well, right? He knows what kind of player this is. So if the Rangers are all in at the trade deadline and they're looking for a significant upgrade, I'm not going to throw any names in return. I don't know what the package would look like. I haven't thought that far ahead, but I think Kappo Kakko is an interesting name. That is a player that hasn't really been given the chances to succeed in New York, rightfully so, because they're such a good team. They want to win now, but the potential is insane. Like, he was picked second overall for a reason. He obviously hasn't lived up to that yet, but he's still very young. So there's time. I don't know. That's a player that would interest me.
What do you think it would really cost to get a player like Trevor Zegras in Montreal? It seems like it would be a pretty cool fit, but like, how high is that price? Like, they just traded for Cutter Gauthier. You think they're just going to let go of their superstar talent? Like, I do not see it. I do not see it at all. I don't see it.
Because to me, the way that Anaheim, like, Anaheim's position right now is similar to the Habs, where they're looking to bring in young talent, not let it go. So losing Trevor Zegras, they would be asking for young talent in return, which we are probably not willing to give. That's why I would look more at contending teams who are trying to win now and probably, would be willing to let go of their young talent. Zegras would be awesome. Don't get me wrong. Like, you bringing him with Cole, the chemistry's there. He'd be a ton of fun, right? That's an exciting offensive player. We haven't had that in a while. Yes, sir.
Hit the like button. Yeah, sorry, go.
but I'm sure the price is too high. Like, I have no idea what the price could be. I'm thinking somewhere around the Goalie mark, which I would not do at all. I think Goalie is actually more valuable for the Habs than Zegras would be for the Habs.
Defense wins championships, right?
Dude, Goalie is he's going to be a luxury third defenseman. Can you imagine that? Like, he's already top two in the team, right? It's him and Matheson, really. But once, Reinbacher gets his groove and Hudson comes in and rips up the league, this guy's going to be your third defenseman, realistically. That's such a luxury, and that is how you win. That's how you win. You look at again, it's a proven recipe, okay? You look at the Cup winners, the depth they had on defense is nuts. Each of them. That's how you win. Now, Zegras is a fantastic player. I'm not a Zegras hater. I've seen a lot of hate around him, is saying he's soft, he's all that. Whatever. He's got fantastic talent. This guy was picked very high for a reason, but I would keep Goalie over him every day of the week. No questions about that.
So Kakko, you said, as a possible trade upgrade for the Canadiens in their top six. Does anybody else come to mind? I mean, like, I'm just curious if that's the only name that has you sort of thinking about how to upgrade this top six. Like, do you think the upgrading this? I don't necessarily think that upgrading the top six is going to definitely happen this year. Mm-hmm. But it kind of should, in a sense, because of the assets we might be parting with, right? I mean, like, if we trade Shawn Monahan, we're definitely getting a top prospect or a first rounder or both. But if Kent Hughes doesn't get what he wants, like, that's the whole thing about the Josh Anderson rumors last year, right? Is there were a ton of calls on Josh Anderson. None of those trades manifested because they weren't offering enough for what they wanted for him, right? So with that in mind, I mean, Shawn Monahan are they in a position of strength with Monahan at this point? Do you think it's pretty obvious that they are, right? They're going to entertain only the best offer. So
no doubt about that. And there's a big market for Shawn Monahan. A lot of the contending teams are in dire need of that pure second line center, reliable veteran that can do everything. He's going to bring in quite the return. Mark my words on that. Kent is going to make sure of that as well. I think, again, I bring up the Vancouver Canucks because I just think it's such a perfect fit. Like, that first line is nasty already. You plug in Shawn Monahan in the second, yuck. Like, that team could genuinely like go all the way. I'm convinced if they stay healthy, watch out, right? I don't know what they could give in return. I think a first starts with a first. I don't know that they have that high level prospect that I would take on for Monahan. But yeah, I just see the fit there. It's so good. But there's, like I said, there's a bunch of other teams that could use that reliable second line center.